much. Wonderful. You guys come up, take a bow. We'll see you all tomorrow. Does anybody have, I know we're probably there, we're probably cut off. I don't have any idea what time it is. Does anybody have any quick questions? Anyone? Yes?
I have a comment, just as a music listener, when recitatives with the aria, when an aria, whether it's on a CD or in a performance, just an aria without the recitative, to me doesn't make sense.
I love it.
I don't know what the words mean.
Yeah, she's saying that the aria without the recit that comes before it doesn't seem to make sense, even if she doesn't have the words, which is really great. Never, ever underestimate how important the recits are. That's really good. Yes?
It seems as a singer, you almost have to be a musical analyst of everything on that page so completely that that is what powers your own individuality. You get all the raw materials from the words, the punctuation, the phrasings, all the clues that the composer leaves for you, and you have to be an expert analyst of all of those things and know what you yourself can add to it.
That's part of it. That's part of it. She's saying it seems like you have to be a musical analyst. To be a singer, you have to know everything. You have to be fueled by the punctuation, by the words, by the articulation, all of that. And only then when you have control of that can you actually add your own thing to it. You also have to be the master of your instrument. You also have to be a master linguist. You also have to be a master actor. You have to master your body. I mean, it's actually endless. And when I see, I know I was in your position before. I still feel like I actually am. I still feel like the student. I look and I go, my God, there's so much to learn. And, where are the dynamics? Okay, they may come back tomorrow, but now we're on this. And you get these up in the air, and then you forgot about that. And then you get this, and you forgot about that. Patience. And the beautiful thing about that is it keeps you, if you're smart and brave, keeps you constantly curious, constantly searching, constantly, why didn't that work? And for me, the key is to not berate yourself. Oh, I can never get that right. Why? Why isn't it working yet? Okay, I'm tensing up, or I'm not doing the dynamic, or I'm not moving my breath. Constant searching, constant creativity. It's exhausting. And if you let it, it's totally overwhelming at times. And that's okay, because what we're doing is Herculean. We're climbing Mount Everest every time we sing a single aria, really. And we're expected to do it perfectly. That's the standard, perfection, which we never achieve, but we're kind of addicted or crazy, so we keep striving for it. But it's that, and it's all of that. And I think for singers, if we can embrace that process, instead of letting it constantly point out what we don't do well, I never get that right, I suck, I can't do this, I can't. If we take that attitude, we defeat ourselves before we're even out of the box. But if we actually embrace it and use it as, wow, okay, I'll get it, I'm working on it, it's better. It's not there yet, but it's better. Keeps us curious, that's why you meet these fabulous older singers. They still have so much energy. They still have this amazing zest for life. They're like, yeah, I'm not done yet. I'm still learning. It's exciting. Yes?
So I've noticed throughout the master class that a lot of the magic and drama comes through in the consonants. And the consonants are so clear. And I was wondering if you had a philosophy for using them as a tool and creating drama.
She's saying it seems like a lot of the theater, the drama comes from the use of consonants. And is there a philosophy or theory for using that? It's not magic. You have to work harder at it at singing than when we speak. So for me, I try to use the consonants to continue connecting me to the breath. So it's still legato. As Americans, those consonants that tend to fall down, and we don't really like use, I just try really hard to like make sure I don't do that. I hate that. So it's making sure that they're on the same breath flow with the vowels. They should make your life easier. Same with German, same with French, same with Italian. It should actually keep the voice where it wants to naturally sit. That, and I just have such a strong desire to tell the story. I want to be heard as that character. I want people to understand me, that character. You know, last night I was on the lake in Scotland, and okay, the plot is kind of crazy, and she's having to deal with all this stuff. For me, in that moment, the only thing that matters is that I be understood as Elena. So tanti affetti in tal momento. All of it, if I lose one thing, somebody might not get it. So everything is of utmost importance. Yeah, that's kind of it. But it's always lined up with the technique, with the vocal side of stuff. Any other singers have a question? Yes. Hi.
I'm wondering, as when you were a student, and I know we're still lifelong students, what were maybe some aha moments you had by yourself in the practice room? You know, when you're working on something with your teacher, they're like, you'll figure this out when you're alone. One day will come when you figure it out, you know, because it can be said so many different ways. So I'm just wondering if maybe you've had some moments like that.
If I had any aha moments where something clicked in, they happen, I won't say all the time, but the ones that happen now are just as significant, if not more, as the ones that happened when I was in college or conservatory. A big one, I've talked about this a little bit before, was my first lesson with Steve Smith when I had gotten to the Houston program. And he actually forced his thumb up under my jawline here, because I was pushing down with my tongue into my throat here to make the sound, and it was as rigid as this piano. I kid you not, it was iron. And that's how, I can't even do it now, thank God, I can't do it now, but it was all of this, and it was bulging here, and it was all of that, you know, rigid tongue muscle. It's really strong, but I was determined to make that sound. And he literally prohibited me from doing it, and he said, sing an ah vowel. And we had this battle where my tongue pushed his thumb, and he pushed it back. I'm like, I'm gonna sing an ah. No, you're not with your tongue. No, and I just dared, and I tell you, it was really one of the scariest moments of my life, because that's not how I made sound. So it meant this is uncharted territory, and we singers, we like to control what's coming out of here, right? Give that up right now, because we're not in control. And I literally went, it felt like an hour of this. It was probably 10 seconds, and I finally went, okay, I can't use this, so where do I find it? And my stomach went out, and I went, I kid you not, but it was the first unpressurized sound I had made in years. And I literally went, oh, no. What's that? So it was kind of bigger than an aha moment. And then the work started. And I was 26. And I was in a high-pressure situation at the Houston Grand Opera. We had auditions for managers. We had auditions for young artist programs. We had rehearsals in front of Christoph Eschenbach. And, you know, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I thought I was a singer, and now I really don't know anything. And that was the best aha moment. But I tell you, they happen all the time. The lady sitting right in front of you, Deborah, I work with her on breath. Every lesson I go, what? No. Why didn't I know that 10 years ago? But that's the exciting part, again, about still being students. The key for me is to not let that destroy you, that you still have another level to learn, and that's exciting to me. That means growth. That means freedom. Embrace that, because that's where your power lies. One last question. Any singers have a question? Yes.
I have a question about...
You look like Hilary Hahn. Wow. The violinist, yeah, wow. Beautiful. Sorry.
I had a question about how you create intention for ornamentation. Like, where does that come from? Because it kind of just like, if you're like working on it, you're like, why Am I doing this? Like, my teacher told me to add this, but what?
Yeah. The question is, how do you find motivation or interpretation for ornaments as you're ornamenting? It's not always easy, but I have yet to find something that I couldn't motivate. And my greatest tool to find it is imagination. It's getting into the sandbox of these characters and playing and daring to be bad and look stupid. And sometimes you have to try one path and that doesn't work, and then you try another path. I ask a lot of questions. Oftentimes, I'm stuck until I get into a staging. So at the beginning stages, when you're just working on arias, but you don't have the context of the whole character and the whole opera, it's tough. And I'll tell you, it's artificial. This is a very artificial setting. Auditions are... what you have to do an audition has nothing to do with what you have to do to bring a role to life on stage. So you have to, basically, Kaylee, what you were doing with Ombra Mai Fu, you have to make a backstory, you have to fill it, and you have to know that you're searching for something. You have to know that you're discovering something. Try different ornaments. Never just say, this is what the teacher says, do this. Ask why. Ask why. I mean, you may not become the most favored person in your studio, but you know what? You're paying them to go to school there. You've hired your teachers. You've hired your coaches. You've hired your voice teacher. It's totally within your right to say, I don't understand. Why? No, explain it again. I don't understand. Oh, well, if you can't get it, la, 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 la. You know, the great teachers, the great conductors, the great stage directors will stay with you. They'll help you find it. They won't give it to you. They're not going to give you a fish. They're going to lead you to water. So here's how you cast the reel. And you get to fish for life. So the fact that you're asking that question is the perfect starting point. And only you will know when you've found the motivation. And if you haven't found it, you get to keep searching. That's the cool part. That's the really fun part. Also, use the fact that you don't know in the meantime, so ask a question with it. The only person I've ever just taken ornaments from and done them is Sir Charles Mackerras. I went, no argument from me there. But he sent us a score months ahead of time. I did Don Giovanni with him. Wow. Whew. And he sent a score with every appoggiatura. And if you did it from under as opposed to above, he went, no. And then I even asked him, I said, Maestro, can you explain why above? Because I feel like that's too strong, and here she's more vulnerable. And he'd say, but she's acting strong. Or he'd say, oh, actually, I hadn't thought about that. Try it. Let me see what it sounds like. And then you try and sell that, and he goes, no, I don't like it. Or yes, I like it. But you know, you have to ask questions. Imagination and questioning are two of your strongest things. But make sure it's an honest question and not belligerent. And make sure you really want to know the answer. Because it may not be the answer that you want. But all of those things, it's about gathering information, okay? You are not in your voice studio to please your teacher. You are not in your voice studio to make your teacher look good. You are in that voice studio to learn, and it is yours to use. You're the driver, and you get to decide if you agree with them. You get to decide if you want to know more from them, or if it doesn't fit you. But it has to be objective and not ego-centered. Like, well, she told me I didn't sound good, but I don't like her. No. Take some investigation and find it out. But you're there to learn. You're not there to please anybody in that situation. You've paid your fees, or you've gotten your scholarship, which means you're giving back in other ways. This is yours to use. Yeah, you guys are in the power seat. And I say that with all deference and respect to the teachers. The great ones know that that's their job. That's a good thing. I think we really, I'm sure we're way over time, But we're going to be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock, also on Medici. If you guys can't be here, you can stream it online. Monday as well. I think Monday the plan is we're going to work on some duets, which is kind of fun because, 80% of our time on stage is with somebody else, whether we like it or not. But thank you all for coming out. Stay warm, bundle in. You guys were awesome. Is it good? Sorry we ran short on time, but we'll start tomorrow. You're fabulous.